The Bold and the Beautiful B&B. Spoilers update for Monday, September 23, reveals that Taylor Hayes, Rebecca Budig, will confide in Lee Finnegan, Naomi Matsuda, now that she's thrown her a major curveball. Taylor just came clean about the fact that she's suffering from heart failure. Since Taylor told Lee that she was dying, she's obviously accepted her fate and just wants to embrace living to the fullest while she still can. Lee may offer up some specialists since she's got plenty of medical connections, but Taylor already talked about seeing a doctor in Europe. Taylor may feel she's explored all options and suggest she needs help in other ways now. Although Taylor said she wanted to speak doctor to doctor, this conversation may eventually become one between two mothers and even two grandmothers. Taylor is clearly making some preparations for after her demise, so she may ask Lee to become an even bigger presence in the lives of Steffy Forrester, Jacqueline Massinswood, and the kids. Perhaps Taylor will praise Lee for being such a good mom to John Finnegan's Tanner Novlin, and hope she'll extend that same motherly support to Steffy once she's gone. Whatever the case, Lee will encourage Taylor to confess her heart failure news to Steffy, Thomas Forrester, Matthew Atkinson, and Ridge Forrester, Thorsten K., so they can be there for her. Taylor will refuse to spill anything just yet, so B&B spoilers say she'll get Lee's vow of silence and plan to tell her family closer to the end. Over with Steffy, she'll hold out hope that Ridge can get through to Taylor when it comes to sticking around Lee. Taylor hasn't typically stayed put for very long in the past, so it's easy to see why Steffy's worried her mom will bolt again. Unfortunately, Taylor could leave Steffy's life permanently if this heart failure situation is leading to her exit. Early during the week of September 23 to 27, Steffy will get a weird feeling that Taylor is hiding something. There's a chance Steffy will walk in on Taylor's discussion with Lee and raise an eyebrow. Our predictions point to Steffy putting Taylor through a grilling session soon, so we'll bring you updates on Taylor's efforts to keep her in the dark. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers say Taylor will prolong the inevitable when it comes to telling Steffy the truth, so stay tuned to see how long she'll be able to keep this quiet. CDL's where you want to be for sizzling Bold and the Beautiful spoilers, predictions, news, and updates, so make us your favorite B&B hotspot. The sun cast a warm, golden hue over Los Angeles as another day began in the world of the Bold and the Beautiful. Inside the quiet walls of her home, Taylor Hayes, Rebecca Budig, sat in a plush armchair, her thoughts heavier than the beautiful crystal chandelier hanging overhead. She had just confessed to Lee Finnegan, Naomi Matsuda, something she had kept buried deep inside for far too long, the truth about her heart. Taylor, always the strong, fiercely independent woman, had faced challenges before, but this was different. She wasn't dealing with another love triangle, another betrayal, or another family drama. This time, the battle was internal. Her heart was failing. Taylor had done her research, consulted experts, and even visited a top medical facility in Europe. Yet, none of the treatments had offered her the hope she so desperately needed. The doctors were kind but blunt. Her time was limited. As Lee listened quietly, Taylor admitted, "I've accepted it, Lee. I'm dying, and before the end comes, I want to live. I want to embrace every moment while I still can." Lee's expression remained composed, though her mind raced with thoughts of possible treatments, specialists, or anything that could offer a glimmer of hope. But Taylor was one step ahead, having already explored every possible medical avenue. Now, Taylor was turning to Lee not as a doctor, but as a friend, a mother, and even a grandmother. "There's nothing more the doctors can do for me," Taylor sighed. "What I need now is something only you can provide. I need your help, Lee, but not with my heart, with my family." The weight of the request lingered in the air, and for a moment, both women were silent. Taylor's eyes glistened with unshed tears as she looked at Lee. Knowing the importance of the words she was about to speak. "When I'm gone, Steffy is going to need someone. She's strong, but she can't do it alone. You've been such a good mother to Finn. I've seen it in the way he speaks about you, in the way he's become the man he is today. I need you to be there for Steffy. I need you to be her rock." Lee's heart softened. She had always respected Taylor's role in the Forrester family and admired her strength. The thought of Taylor leaving her loved ones behind was heartbreaking, but Lee knew that this moment wasn't about sympathy. It was about action. Lee vowed to Taylor, "I will be there for Steffy. You have my word." Despite the heaviness of their conversation, Taylor felt a sense of relief. She had asked for something so monumental, but Lee didn't hesitate. Her heart ached less now that she had someone she trusted to be there for her children. However, Taylor wasn't ready to share her condition with her family just yet. She wanted to wait, to find the right time to tell Steffy, Thomas, and Ridge. It was a decision that weighed heavily on her soul, but she felt it was necessary. "Lee, I need you to keep this between us for now," Taylor said softly. "I'll tell Steffy and the others when the time is right, but not yet." Lee hesitated, knowing that withholding such vital information from Taylor's family would be difficult, especially with Steffy's sharp instincts. Still, she agreed. "I promise, Taylor, I won't say anything, but when the time comes, you have to tell them. They deserve to know." Taylor nodded, her gratitude evident. She knew she was asking a lot of Lee, but this was something she needed to do her way. Across town, Steffy Forrester, Jacqueline Messinswood, was feeling uneasy. Her mother had been acting strange lately, almost distant. Taylor had always been a free spirit, often coming and going from Los Angeles, but this time felt different. There was a weight in the air that Steffy couldn't shake. Sitting in her office at Forrester Creations, Steffy found herself lost in thought. She had a gut feeling that something was wrong with her mother, but she couldn't quite put her finger on it. Taylor had always been strong, resilient, and in control, but recently, she seemed to be hiding something. Every instinct in Steffy's body was screaming that something wasn't right. Deciding she couldn't ignore the feeling any longer, Steffy grabbed her phone and called Taylor. "Mom, are you okay?" she asked, trying to sound casual despite the worry gnawing at her. Taylor's voice on the other end was steady but distant. "I'm fine, Steffy. Why wouldn't I be?" Steffy wasn't convinced. You've been acting a little off lately." "I don't know, I just have this weird feeling that something's going on." There was a long pause before Taylor replied, "I'm okay, Steffy, I promise." But Steffy wasn't so sure. Her mother had always been good at putting up walls, hiding her emotions behind a facade of strength. Steffy could sense there was more to the story, but for now, she decided to let it go. She would keep a close eye on her mother, though knowing that Taylor wasn't telling her everything. As the days passed, Steffy couldn't shake the feeling that her mother was hiding something serious. Her instincts told her that this wasn't just about Taylor's usual tendency to wander away from Los Angeles. This was something more profound, something that could change their family forever. Meanwhile, Taylor continued to delay telling her family about her heart failure. Every time she thought about sitting Steffy and Thomas down to break the news, her heart clenched with fear. She didn't want to burden them with the weight of her illness, not yet. Taylor wanted to hold onto a few more moments of normalcy before everything changed. But Steffy wasn't one to sit idly by. She was a fighter, just like her mother, and she wasn't about to let Taylor slip away without a fight. One evening, Steffy decided to take matters into her own hands. She drove to her mother's house, determined to get to the bottom of whatever was going on. When Steffy arrived, she was greeted by Lee, who had just finished a conversation with Taylor. The sight of Lee leaving her mother's house only deepened Steffy's suspicion. "What were you two talking about?" Steffy asked, her tone more curious than accusatory. Lee hesitated for a split second before replying, "Just catching up." Taylor wanted to talk about some things. It was the truth, but not the whole truth. Steffy nodded, but her gut told her there was more to the story. She brushed past a lie and headed inside, finding her mother sitting in the living room, lost in thought. "Mom, we need to talk," Steffi said firmly, her eyes locking onto Taylor's. As the days passed, Steffi couldn't shake the feeling that her mother was hiding something serious. Her instincts told her that this wasn't just about Taylor's usual tendency to wander away from Los Angeles. This was something more profound, something that could change their family forever. Meanwhile, Taylor continued to delay telling her family about her heart failure. Every time she thought about sitting Steffi and Thomas down to break the news, her heart clenched with fear. She didn't want to burden them with the weight of her illness, not yet. Taylor wanted to hold on to a few more moments of normalcy before everything changed. But Steffi wasn't one to sit idly by. She was a fighter, just like her mother, and she wasn't about to let Taylor slip away without a fight. One evening, Steffi decided to take matters into her own hands. She drove to her mother's house, determined to get to the bottom of whatever was going on. When Steffi arrived, she was greeted by Lai, who had just finished a conversation with Taylor. The sight of Lai leaving her mother's house only deepened Steffi's suspicion. "What were you two talking about?" Steffi asked, her tone more curious than accusatory. Lai hesitated for a split second before replying, "Just catching up." Taylor wanted to talk about some things. It was the truth, but not the whole truth. Steffi nodded, but her gut told her there was more to the story. She brushed past a lie and headed inside, finding her mother sitting in the living room, lost in thought. "Mom, we need to talk," Steffi said firmly, her eyes locking onto Taylor's.